How's it going, everybody? This is Rob, and hopefully everything looks good. Sharing it on Twitter. And all right, we should be live now. How's everybody doing today? We got a couple people. All right, so this one, for this podcast, we are going to be doing a group discussion on the recent season for Castlevania, and you're gonna hear a little bit of feedback. So just gonna do something fun, enjoyable. Let's see, we got Rosa, Princess Megan. How's everybody doing? But yeah, so a couple things. First, in case people saw some of the stuff that's being premiered this week, or at least for tomorrow, we're going to be starting the videos for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which I have been really anticipating to play. Unfortunately, I'm already getting crap with, what's it called? The copyright because of the intro, which I may consider re-uploading that, or at least without the intro, which kind of sucks, but it may be something I have to do. As well as after this podcast and after I upload the videos for my reaction to season 1 and 2 Castlevania, I will be doing a kind of, at least because I already had it recorded, a solo reaction to Castlevania. So that should be a lot of fun to do. So let's see. I'm looking at the comments. Watched last finale of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Yeah, I know. I'm going to miss playing that game. That game is a lot of fun. I may end up doing Gwent. So, which I will say that was a fun mini game to come out of The Witcher. So I'm just waiting on the others this second. We'll look at the chat. See how everything's going. I ship Lenora and Hector. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're going to be talking about that, and we may end up spoiling a few things if we end up doing our discussion. Just waiting for people to show up. But oh my gosh, I'm just gonna say the last couple episodes were freaking insane. No, Sage. Stop it. What are you doing, Sage? Come on, man. But I will if I'm gonna say one thing while I wait for everybody, I feel so sorry for Alucard. Alucard is probably the one character, him, Trevor, and Sypha, because we've gone through so much with those characters. All right. Oh, Aiden's on.
Yeah, sorry I'm late.
What's going on, man?
Not much. Just got done watching over my little brother's doggo for the time being. So I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, that's weird. I can't hear you. Can you guys hear him? Oh wait. Okay, I had myself on mute. Okay, that's my bad. All right. So somebody said Lenora and Hector to be shipped.
I did initially, and then I remembered what it was that was causing me so much trouble, and that was due to episode 9, but we'll get there.
Oh my god.
Primarily more so in episode 10. But
I would say both 9 and 10. With the way they were going about it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Dude, by the way, I'm gonna say this right off, and I mentioned that after the podcast and after I release my videos for season 1 and 2 for my reactions, I'm gonna be doing a solo reaction for season 3. And I say this right off the bat, freaking Sypha and Trevor, probably the most adorable thing is their dynamic between each other.
Oh, most definitely. And I love how they actually admit how they're that they are at least a little bit crazy.
Oh, I love this. There's this one bit, like, where it was cute, where Trevor's like not looking at Sypha when she says something. He's like, "Are you gonna look at me?" He's like, "No." Like, why? He's like, "Because I don't want to." It's like, "Because you'll give in." And then he looks. He's like, "Yes."
Yeah, I loved that. That was great. One of the best moments from that season concerning those two, as far as conversation pieces go.
Just their dialogue was so fucking cute. I can't say that.
Rosa, that part cracked me up so bad because I knew he screwed up, and then Sypha gives him the look.
Oh yeah, I talked about that too. I mentioned that I did because during the weekend I actually started watching it, so that way I was prepared. And in between I was doing my solo reactions, and yeah, that was that
sex, huh? It's like, oh.
So it's like, well, when I heard that, I'm like, oh my gosh, they actually have been boning.
There are a lot of references to some of the jokes or things that were made in season 1, and I love that. Yeah,
and I gotta ask, because I didn't look it up yet. Did Ian McKellen play the judge?
No, that was actually
because the dude who played him sounded a lot like him.
That was the actor who played Lucius Malfoy. Lucius Malfoy, Draco's dad.
Really?
Yes.
Holy shit! I did not recognize his voice.
And
he sounded like Ian several times.
Yeah, he kind of did. And Saint Germain.
My gosh,
voiced by Bill Nighy.
Fucking Bill Nye. Oh my god.
Most people would know him as Victor from the Underworld series.
Debt to pay.
By the way, Saint Germain is one of the main characters in Curse of Darkness.
Oh my gosh, fucking.
There are so many lead-ins.
I'm gonna say right now, I both loved and near the end hated this season. Only because it left us with a cliffhanger, like in a sense, left us with a cliffhanger, and I fucking hate what they kind of did with Alucard.
Yeah, I don't know which person's story I found more saddening, Alucard's
or Hector's.
Yes,
Hector, and we thought Hector's situation was fucked before. Oh my god. Oh shit.
The bit with Alucard at the end of episode 10, jumping ahead a tiny bit, that was rather poignant, and I can't help but think that this is the point where Alucard decides to go to sleep for, I think it was 200-300 years. I don't remember how long he sleeps for, but he doesn't wake up again until the events of Symphony of the Night.
Oh, jeez.
Whenever he ends up going to sleep.
Dude, okay. So, like, where should we just start at the very beginning?
May as well.
Okay, so first off, I will say the whole. I'm gonna say probably both sad and probably one of the most hilarious moments with Alucard was near the beginning of the dolls, and
that was depressing to watch. It did get a good laugh out of me, but at the same because he realized what he was doing.
He realized how alone he was.
Yeah, and that made it even sadder. But at the same time, I couldn't help but chuckle.
He was like losing track of time.
Because of how he reacted to the realization.
Oh my gosh! All those like. It just showed how much he actually cared for them as friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially with when
if memory serves, he said, "How long has it been? A year, 3 years, or was it a few?"
He's like a few years, and he's like, or maybe it's a couple of months. It's like he doesn't know at this point because of how he's lost track of time.
Gods, I'm losing my mind.
and then there was that point, and then what makes it worse is when they introduce Taka and Sumi, and then he cares. He fucking he's happy that there's somebody in his life again.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they weren't wrong. Like further later on, they weren't wrong when they said that he is keeping things back because he doesn't want them to leave. He's not. They aren't wrong on that.
I wish they would have just given him a chance to open up more.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they would have just given him a little bit more time, then they would have learned as much as they needed. I
think their end goal was to get the castle moving again and use it to quickly get back.
Okay, so for those who haven't watched it, they introduced two characters called Taka and Sumi, who apparently was under the rule of one of the vampires.
The one that would constantly turn to mist.
Yeah, and they
actually was the one that was frozen in the climactic battle of season 2.
They actually gave that vampire a name called Cho. So they want to learn from Alucard, and so Alucard actually starts teaching them, and actually grows I don't know if you could call it a friendship with them. It was more than that. He actually cares, and then especially when they end up betraying him because they thought that he wasn't giving them all they wanted.
Well, that wasn't the only reason. It was a twofold action on their part as far as deciding to kill him.
Yeah.
Because I discussed this with MJ last night, or this morning, and during their conversation, shortly after Taka had mentioned how he wanted lunch and maybe dinner at the same time, I believe they discussed how Alucard's intentions, and during that they were like, he's looking for some kind of reward for saving the world from his dad, and then they further speculated that maybe he's looking to die here.
He wants some kind of punishment for what he did,
for killing his dad.
Yeah. And then
they said, well, let's give him his reward.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that scene as they walked into the castle.
And and he ends up having to kill them with his magic sword. Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, that last scene with him. Oh, fuck. Now, I will say this. Nobody's going to consider him as the opposite of Dracula now. More than likely.
No, they're just going to stay away from there.
Well, they did exactly what his dad would do.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, his deeds in that fight,
what was his last line?
Save humanity.
Make his dear old dead.
Maybe this will keep them away.
No, he said something about his dead dad being proud.
It worked for my dear dead dad.
Oh gosh, I feel so bad for freaking Alucard in this.
But his deeds will go into legend.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you see that? When he's trying to kind of get out of his restraints, that quick split second of him kind of showing more of his vampire side.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really cool thing.
That was. It was primarily him trying to mist out of the confinement.
And that sucks, using his own knowledge against him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that probably hurts even more.
I mean, for crying out loud, after he kills them, the next time we see him is him curled up, wrapped in the blood-soaked blanket.
Oh, and not just that, on the floor,
and sobbing.
He hasn't even moved the ring from his father off that bedroom floor. He left it there. So So yeah, he's laying on the floor with that blanket in the room where he killed his dad.
And them.
Yeah. No, that was a different room.
Oh yeah. Wait, no, because there was blood on the canopy of the bedding.
There, I think it was a different room. The bed was different in that other scene. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, whatever. Well, actually, no, probably not. Was left over from the Belmont, but it's just that whole situation with Alucard was so fucked. I feel so sorry for him in those scenes. There
was a lot of betrayals in that season.
And Hector, thought he
should have seen it coming.
Hector had the raw end of the deal at first, so now he's even more screwed. He's literally forced. He can't
disobey.
Yeah, he can't disobey from them. It's after.
Not gonna lie, as much as I hate what Lenore did,
that was smart.
It was very masterful. I mean, hell, even Carmilla.
And by the way, at first, didn't we predict that we thought they were just random generals, and we thought that one of the bigger the Striga, we thought she was a werewolf.
Yeah,
and actually, we thought she was a man. We thought she was a man.
Yeah, I do feel bad about that.
Yeah, I kind of do too. But you know what? It's like the saying, don't assume, and it makes the ass out of you and me. But I will say I did like her design.
Yes.
I do like her design. And the fact that each and every one of them have their own goals and have their own like specialties when it comes to, or skills when it comes to ruling their kingdom. Like Camilla's the leader. Morena is.
I always forget that one's name.
Oh,
she was the least impactful. I hate to say it, she was the least impactful. Then again, she hardly had the screen time to become impactful.
Yeah, was she like the administrator or the financial advisor, so to speak? Striga was the warrior and general.
Yeah.
And then Lenore was the diplomat. And Holy shit, that one scene where Hector like has her pinned down and she just freaking ragdolls him in the freaking cell.
Yes.
I mean, that just show, and I love that line she says. She's like, since I'm the diplomat, a lot of people think I'm weak.
But you won't make that same mistake again, will you?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, holy shit. The fact that she could turn, like, we saw the fact that we got to see a little bit of her power, like her freaking like turning into bats and then like turning into vapor, freaking like how strong she is. That was insane.
Oh, by the way, masterful decision on Striga's name, by the way.
Oh, Striga?
Yes.
Oh, I'm trying to remember what that's a reference to.
Vampiric witch in Albanian mythology.
Really?
Yes.
She sounded kind of Russian.
Oh.
I could be wrong.
The Striga is a... Oh, wait, no, that one's Witcher mythology.
Yeah, Striga.
Yeah, it's Albanian.
Yeah, I think a Striga is a freaking... Hold on, I'm going to look it up.
They suck the blood of infants at night while they sleep. And then leave by turning into a flying insect.
Witcher, Striga. Okay, yeah. First thing that came up was The Witcher. Striga, Polish, is a human woman transformed into a monster by a curse. She is filled with hatred towards all living beings, devouring them without a second thought. She only comes on a full moon to hunt, fighting with incredible speed and strength. And it says, like, at least for the story, King Foltest would sometimes tie criminals up to stakes on the ground, who would serve as a meal for the beast.
I don't know much about the Witcher lore. So.
Yeah, she if you watch the show, there's one episode where he actually does fight the Striga. Which that was a good episode. But yeah, that was actually a really good name choice. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, Isaac, dude. With Isaac, it was like an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
I will say
loved his interaction with the captain.
Oh, probably, dude, like hands down, that is probably the best interaction. No joke. With the captain. And the captain makes a good point about, after he gets revenge, what should he do?
Mm-hmm.
Should he, kill everyone like Dracula intended, or, if anything, create a kingdom and show people something to inspire to.
Mm-hmm. It gave him a lot to think on.
Though he kind of goes back on that.
Not necessarily.
Oh, the interaction with the witch was really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now, was it the captain or the witch? I can't remember right now.
It was the captain
that told him, "Be careful, or the mask you wear will become something more," or something like that. That is so true, Pat. Welcome to the stream, man. I hope you're doing well.
How's it going, man? I can't remember. I think because he had interaction with a couple of people. He had the interaction with the old blind merchant.
I think it was the witch, because she gave him a really poignant warning about the path he's on.
Yeah. Actually, no, she actually gave him some good advice.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it was a legitimate warning for those who know what happens concerning Curse of Darkness.
Yeah. And
a subtle nod to what will eventually happen to Isaac.
Yeah. So you think if with a future season, you think they might just go ahead and revive Dracula?
Oh, they will.
Which, by the way, spoilers, they didn't revive Dracula. I know a lot of people were hoping for that. Actually, I was kind of one of those few that really wanted it to happen for some reason. Dude, oh my gosh. That scene where they opened the Infinite Corridor. So,
by the way, the Infinite Corridor, when I first heard that term from Saint Germain, I was like, wait a minute. That can't be. Looked it up. Yep. It's one of the places you go through in Curse of Darkness.
So, okay.
But it's not as trippy.
It's only trippy
as far as level design.
You want to hear something that's fucked up? It could just be, part of Dracula's personal hell. But when they show him, he's with his wife.
In the burnt down house.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, okay, it's cool that they're showing
with it because he is with her.
Yeah. Hell, I wouldn't have been surprised if if they would have went the route where he does go through, but he also gets out with his wife.
If they do that, they're going to be so many people pissed off about that. Because it would be such a major deviation.
Yeah, true.
I mean, hell, I'm honestly wondering what with him spending time with Lisa in hell. What transpires to cause him to forget what Lisa's last words were? Or what Lisa wanted?
Be better?
Mm-hmm. What happens between now and then?
Gosh. Yeah, that's true.
Because at the end of Symphony of the Night, he asks his son Alucard, who you're playing as, after you defeat him, he's like, what were Lisa's last words?
Be better.
And if memory serves, it was something along the lines of, do no harm to humans, for their lot is tough or something along those lines. It's been a while since I played the original PS1 version.
Oh, jeez.
But he lost the ability to love, according to Alucard in that particular translation.
Oh, and what a freaking jip! Because Jermaine, Jermaine's trying to find,
His beloved.
well, someone we don't know if it was somebody that he actually loved, or like if like loves, but it was somebody that he was looking for.
Yeah, at least cares deeply for this person.
Yeah, my one assumption it was probably like maybe a family member, like a brother or something, but it's just we never see this person, and it kind of sucks.
We just see the silhouette.
We just see the silhouette, and freaking Jermaine, like instead of like pulling them out of where they're at, I'm just gonna jump through the portal.
Yeah,
and close it on the other side.
It's a smart move.
Oh, dude, and then the whole. I mentioned this in one of the videos I recorded. I'm gonna say it here. As soon as they started bringing up alchemy as well as putting up the symbols all across town. I got this whole like,
I knew those symbols looked familiar.
FMA Scar, like the original animated show.
They actually stated the actual meanings behind both of those markings.
Was like sulfur or
sulfur, actually.
But no, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Where brimstone, basically.
Yeah, but
the other one was lead, meaning transformation and whatnot. And this is like, damn, they're actually delving into alchemical properties and alchemical lore. That's bravo.
I was just gonna say. This whole situation where they're sacrificing people, it reminded me of that whole segment of the original animated FMA,
the reaping,
where Scar, was kind of luring people or the soldiers into the city and sacrifice them for the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah,
dude, it reminded me of that, or at least remind me of like anything involving the stone where they just sacrifice the entire town for one cause.
But yeah, that's one of the costs that Jermaine was talking about. One of the ways to open the portal.
Which, dude, them like losing the entire town.
Hey, I'm sharing an image real quick.
Okay. Oh. Here, I'm gonna... Is that Hector?
No, this is Saint Germain.
Oh, Saint Germain, really? Oh, I didn't even see the dialogue. That's cool.
They actually are really, like... They got true to Hector's look for the most part.
Hey, he looks almost exact.
Yeah. Now Isaac is the
one that I know. I've heard it from you guys. He's the one that they screwed up.
They didn't necessarily screw it up. Who knows? He might end up looking
Isaac.
different once he ends up, like, spoiler alert, once he ends up with a fragment of Dracula's soul in him.
I will say,
he goes crazy once that happens.
I haven't watched, or I haven't played some of the games for Castlevania, but I will say the TV show's version of Isaac has actually been a really cool character to watch and observe.
Yeah.
There was another moment where I guess none of the night creatures are able to talk usually, and I guess one of the ones he made was actually able to speak, and they have this conversation, and it was actually kind of cool because apparently these are people. Yeah, these are people that I guess were sent to hell and then brought back up by Isaac when he forged the night creatures.
Yeah, and considering its appearance, if it survives, I wouldn't doubt it one bit if it ends up becoming Beelzebub.
Huh.
The Lord of the Flies.
That'd be cool.
Let's see. Saint Germain's vision as a red herring teasing Soma is never going to be the same as we remember. Quite possibly. Trying to remember which part of the vision it possibly showed Soma.
Soma, who's that?
He's the main character in the Sorrow duology.
Okay.
Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance and its sequel, the first game for the DS, Dawn of Sorrow. And is technically the last game in the chronological series, in the series chronologically.
Interesting.
Soma is actually, spoilers to those who don't know of the story for that, Soma is actually the reincarnation of Dracula after Julius outright destroyed him and sealed his castle away in the eclipse.
All right. Oh man. But I like I said, I love this season, but there were those parts that pissed me off. Oh my gosh.
And I hate to break it to you, Rosa, because she had said, I have a bad feeling Hector's going to die along with the Vampire Sisters. I hate to break it to you, Hector actually gets a happy end if they follow through with the majority of the plot from Curse of Darkness. He actually hooks up with Isaac's sister.
Isaac doesn't have a sister so far.
Nope. We won't be. She's kept herself isolated. She lives in a forest all on her own.
Yeah, as far as we've seen so far for the show, they have not mentioned a sister.
But then again, the Isaac that we know of from Curse of Darkness is European. Is of European descent. Because, yeah. His appearance, his mannerisms, the way he talks.
You know what? One way I can see them like going through with the whole dynamic between Isaac and Hector is I wouldn't guess that by the end of it, Isaac ends up kind of forgiving Isaac forgives Hector and tries to help him. I could see them doing that for some reason. Like maybe for some reason Isaac learns some bit of some aspect of forgiveness.
They could go that route, but I hate to say it, I doubt that's going to happen.
Probably not with how dark they went this season.
He dies in Curse of Darkness.
Isaac?
To his sister's dismay. Yeah. Isaac dies. Dracula basically, when he reincarnates, takes over Isaac's body and then in his final form basically tears the body apart as he transforms. Geez. Yeah.
That's insane.
You know, that or damages the transformation damaged the body, and the transformation and the battle damaged the body enough to where there's no way Isaac will live. Now, as far as Isaac forgiving him, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have never beaten Curse of Darkness, and I've only ever watched the speed run. And they skip cutscenes in speedruns. So,
jeez. I gotta see if there's any for the PS4 for Castlevania, or better yet, see if it's on the Switch because I might end up getting a copy.
If there are any, it would be via PS Now currently. Okay. And that would most likely either be Lament of Innocence, the first Castlevania, both chronologically in the series, and the first game for the PS2, where we play as Leon Belmont, the first of the Belmonts to use the Vampire Killer.
Okay.
And then there's also the PS3 multiplayer game that's on PS Now, Harmony of Despair, which features a ton, well, not really a ton, but a decent amount of characters throughout the Castlevania series. Hell, Simon's in it, and it's in his 8-bit incarnation from the original Castlevania.
Oh, nice.
It's so tiny compared to the rest of the characters. But let's see. I don't know how to feel about how they handled Legion. Like, it was cool, but at the same time,
it's not normal Legion. I mean, apparently, so just so you guys know and understand that this is a group spoiler discussion. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I'll also be uploading solo kind of reactions to this. This version of Legion is apparently, so Isaac meets this old lady who talks about how her entire village was kidnapped by this sorcerer. And apparently she was practicing magic and she was able to defend herself. But everybody else was taken. Yep. And they are under this spell. Literally brainwashed and zombified. Mm-hmm. And I guess the with the dialogue between the witch, she asks Isaac to go out and kill and turn the unfortunate souls into night creatures. Mm-hmm. Because with that many people, he would have enough bodies to create an army.
Oh, hell yeah. Not just that, but I mean, they're already technically dead in a manner of speaking.
I mean, there's one guy, like, he's trying to lift this freaking huge boulder, and you see his arm is like the flesh is coming off, and it's like on the bone. Like what's left of his arm. It's like, holy shit. And then the fight with Legion was actually kind of cool. Where using the magic, the bodies just kind of form this amorphous blob sphere thing. Mm-hmm. And
if you can share my screen, I can show some of how Legion looked in the games.
So there's Legion.
It's a mass of dead bodies.
Which, in a sense, they kind of did that, but it was, again, they were still, some of them were still alive. They were still, thinking.
Yeah, but even after killing the source behind the spell, those that weren't dead would...
oh my gosh, yeah, I was thinking about that.
They had, their mind was so just destroyed by the mind control magic.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because there's that
they're better off dead or being turned into a night creature.
Well, I was gonna say, like after he kills the sorcerer, that sphere blob that was Legion was hovering like over the tower. So when that thing everybody is removed from the spell, those people are probably still alive or just going to fall to the ground dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when I honestly wasn't expecting the sorcerer to be that old and decrepit. I
kind of figured. He wasn't able to take Isaac. Which I thought that was cool. That that shows how much will he has against other magic.
Mm-hmm. Though that also ties into possibly how the old woman was able to protect herself from the magic, or how she was able to resist it.
Yeah. And I think he was like the first. He had the first scene in episode 10, where he's all talking about how, or being hopeful that maybe one day the city that will now be barren could possibly be repopulated.
Yeah.
And he's kind of unironically kind of being hopeful about it.
Yeah. That was the witch's name.
What?
I think. Miranda.
Yes, that was. Man, we've talked about this for 40 minutes. Jeez.
There's a lot to go over.
So, you want to talk about the judge?
Which part?
Oh my god. I'm going to say this. At first, I thought he was a cool character.
Yeah.
I thought he was a cool character. Now, I will say that there was a moment where I thought something was up, and that was like when you see him coming out of the room. And for some reason, I'm thinking, okay, he's on something. Like, he did something.
Well, I mean, we had a couple of hints.
Yeah.
One, him
even some of the dialogue
boy about the apple tree.
And then,
because he was
right after,
even though the kid was disobeying, and he was visibly upset about it.
Yeah.
Because it was like what, the 20th in the 20s now that he has been that the kid was told not to run through the town by him.
Oh my gosh, it's
then saying to Trevor, I don't know, there are some enjoyments we found.
You know what, now that I'm thinking about it, he's like the town council from Hot Fuzz.
Oh god.
The greater good.
It would be even funnier if it was Bill Nye that voiced him.
No, Bill Nye was the cop. No,
he voiced Saint Germain.
Bill Nye was the cop. Or one of the...
He was a member of the council, though.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
No, he wasn't. Bill Nye was one of the police chiefs.
Uh-huh. But he was one of the members in the Black Hood.
No, he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
No, he wasn't. Rewatch that. He was not. Bill Nye was not.
Because that was one of the shocking revelations.
No. No, one of the shocking revelations was one of the cops that came from the city was dead and was in their little death pit. Bill Nye was one of the chiefs. He wanted our main character gone because he was causing problems for the other police officers.
He was also causing problems for the council.
No, he was... Dude, I'm telling you right now, rewatch that movie. Bill Nye was not part of that council. Unless there's a deleted scene that says he wasn't part of that council.
Let's see.
I've watched that movie several times.
Metropolitan Chief Inspector.
But, oh my gosh, the fucking judge. Again, who was voiced by Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
Which, God.
When he came out of that door, I honestly thought he was a pedo.
Oh, and it turns out that might have been the case.
No, it was... it was along the same lines, though.
Yeah, he was... Okay, so context, yeah.
He sent that kid to the apple tree so that the kid would fall into the pit.
Before we talk about that. So, yeah, that was I will say that was kind of odd. And something that I wish I would have noticed earlier on is when that dialogue he had with Trevor, where he says, Trevor says, "Oh, this job must be hard," and he says something along the lines of
its own enjoyments.
He says it comes with its little pleasures.
That's right. Thank you.
And I'm thinking, okay, that's a weird way to phrase that.
And when he came out of that door, I was like, "Oh God, what did he do with that kid?"
Oh no! And then
we find out in the end.
When Sala stabs him, he's like, "I want you to take this route I'm like, wait a minute, isn't that the same?
What?
I had to look it up.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that was the same route he told the kid. I'm like, oh my god.
He punished the kid by having the kid die in that pit. And then he retrieved the kid's shoes. That's just like, what the... Why are you keeping these as trophies?
And then, honestly, I don't think Sypha should have burned that house down. I think they should have just left it as a reminder.
Better to have the town rebuild.
And another thing that got me like...
Without that darkness... without the risk of that darkness being known, that way there's a better chance for the darkness to not continue there.
Okay, I see. You know, another thing too that was really crazy, that I should have realized like right off the bat, where he says, he's like, "Give me my knife, so that way when when I meet him in hell, I can kill him all over again." I should like, wait, what the fuck did he do? If he thinks he's going to hell, I should have fucking realized that. But I didn't. And then I will say, like, when it came to the judge, it probably put a lot of people out of the loop on what he did.
Yeah, nobody knew, because if they did, it would have been the talk of the town and he would have been removed.
Yeah.
You can tell he looked down on them, though, because of his final words concerning Salas, like, before Salas left, "You were the better judge than I." Or perhaps you were the better judge than I was.
Yeah. Oh, we're doing good, Mel. Thank you.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well. Thank you. Oh my god.
Just that whole thing.
Salas cracked me up, though, whenever it came to the final episode, when he saw the portal and all the demons coming out of it.
What the fuck is that?
And then taking off.
Yeah. And then the freaking by the way, I knew as soon as they mentioned where the night creature came from, I'm like, of fucking course. Who the night creature belonged to? Dracula. Isaac. Oh my gosh.
It was Isaac, because his exact words were, "We're doing this for Lord Dracula and my Forge Master. His return." I'm just like, oh. I wish I could remember the name of that demon, like what that demon is called.
Good lord, that thing.
It has shown up in one of the Castlevania games.
But like, I think, dude, that thing looks like something you would see in Bloodborne. Just the design of it looks so freaking gorgeous.
And the luminescent tendrils.
Yeah.
On its back.
As well as its eyes. I mean, freaking out. The design is so good. Wasn't a fan of its second form though.
Yeah.
Fucking, actually would have been crazier. Like after it absorbed the souls, if it freaking like, kind of like Envy from Full Metal Alchemist, where you had the faces of the souls that were absorbed, like trying to poke out and trying to get out.
Yeah.
And pleading for their lives. That would have been actually something really interesting to do with that monster near the final act, but they didn't do that, and I kind of feel like it was a waste. It was a wasted opportunity. Hell, they did that. They actually, I think the one that probably started that was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Now that you mention it, it very well could have been.
Because I think like the earliest that I can think of where they did something like that was Nightmare on Elm Street. Was it 3 or 4? Where what's his name? Freddy lifts up his shirt, and you see the faces of the people he's killed.
I wish I could remember which movie it happened in.
Rosa thought I was high when I saw the time portal.
Yeah, that was a very trippy sequence.
You know, the moment where he started like falling, it made me think of like that once for a brief moment that scene from Doctor Sleep, where you have Rose kind of hovering over the earth,
I've never
and then
seen it.
oh gosh, you haven't seen
Never
that
heard
yet,
of it.
dude. It's a sequel for The Shining.
I have yet to watch that either.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, continue, please.
What?
I thought you were. I thought that was more to
but
what
yeah,
you were saying.
there's this scene where this character called Rose, who's the villain, is trying to get into the head of one of our main characters and using one of her abilities. And there's this really cool scene where she is hovering over the earth and she is slowly descending and locating the individual and where they're at. And after this whole confrontation with the girl who is way more powerful than her, she is like thrown, like pushed back into her own body, but like flying into space and stuff like that. It was really cool.
Damn.
So would you say, because pretty soon we're gonna maybe once we get like to the hour mark, we may end it. So would you say, like, what would be your final thoughts for this season? And if anything, if they decide to make a fourth season, what would you expect?
Well, I'm inclined to agree with MJ, who said it was kind of it was a buffer
Bittersweet
season.
A buffer, okay.
And unfortunately, with the events that happened in this season, I hate to say it, season 4 is most likely also going to be one. Then again, Isaac does have access to the transportation mirror now, and he will have his army behind him whenever he goes through that gate to go to Austria.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like near the very beginning of the season, they just push that out of the way. And
yeah, the whole thing concerning him being in Carmilla's, of Hector being stuck in Carmilla's court is, if they go through with it, it's either going to be the main finale for the season, or it's going to be over so fast that it's going to make heads spin at the beginning of the season.
I wouldn't be surprised if Isaac ends up making short work of Hector.
But either way, Hector will survive in order to confront Isaac time and time again until Dracula is resurrected through Isaac.
You know, and here's a crazy thought. Do you think that maybe at one point Lorena may have a change of heart? Or do you think she's just as manipulative as she made herself out to be near the end?
Oh, she's definitely highly manipulative. I honestly didn't trust her to begin with. There were times I was like, okay, maybe I had the wrong impression. And then she proved my initial impression correct.
I kind of figured the same. I will say I had the same thought. For a second, I thought that stuff was going good for Hector, but then that last bit, that proved me totally wrong on that situation.
Like there are hints that she might actually have legitimate feelings for him, but
if that's the case, she doesn't consider him as an equal.
MJ put it very nicely during my discussion with her about it last night or this morning. She views him as his pet, or as her pet.
Exactly. Which I unironically, that's how Hector would treat other people.
How he viewed others as animals,
as animals. Yeah,
especially the
vampires.
vampires. Yeah, he
And
viewed
he
them
finds
as
out that,
pets.
and he viewed them, and now he learned a little bit about them, or at least a little bit more about them, and
It's intriguing.
yeah, kind of like how the tables have turned on him.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. She may very well take off the ring and tell him, get out of here before you die.
Yeah.
But not before you do your task and make demons for us to combat Isaacs.
I will say it's interesting that she brought up the whole ring thing, especially with she had it all planned out, especially with showing them those other rings and letting them know that if they wear those, and if he were to order his night creatures to freaking attack her kingdom, Camilla, Striga, Morena, and Loren wouldn't be harmed.
Yeah. It would hurt. The ring would put him through the same kind of agony he went through when the spell was cast. Or the curse, whichever you wish to call it.
Yeah.
But all these events are going to cause Hector to give up his Force Master ways.
Yeah.
And Isaac's going to constantly confront him to get him to become to use his Forge Master skills once more.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to fight Hector while he is that weak. Fight and kill him. He wants to best Hector while Hector is at his best.
Exactly.
Because it is the death that a traitor deserves. In his line of reasoning.
Yeah.
He respects him as a fellow Forge Master, but he will not forgive Isaac his betrayal. At least as far as I'm aware.
Oh, man.
And it's probably going to get heavier from here.
Oh, more likely. I feel things are going to get worse for one of the characters I'm very concerned about for the series is Alucard.
Mm-hmm.
Because just the emotional roller coaster he had to go through for this entire season, it's gonna put an emotional toll on him.
Oh, big time.
Especially with two people that he ended up caring about, he had to kill because they were going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, and to make matters worse, he stuck both their bodies on pikes in front of the entrance to Dracula's castle.
Vlad the Impaler.
Yep.
His dear old dad.
Yep.
I will honestly be a little bit surprised if we do see him next season.
Oh, you know what? Just imagine if freaking Sypha and Trevor were to show up, and they saw that.
They may very well. Hell, if we do see him, I could easily see Sypha and Trevor revisiting the place to see how Alucard is doing, because they do miss him. They've stated as such. And they're going to see it, and Sypha's most likely going to stay behind to try and keep him company. Try and help him through the emotional turmoil that he's dealing with, while Trevor goes to deal with the Forge Masters.
Yeah.
Because you do fight Trevor in Curse of Darkness.
Yeah, doesn't he become like a vampire or something?
Who, Trevor? No.
Yeah. What happens to Trevor?
Nothing. He just fights them. He fights Hector, and then realizing that he's not the Forge Master he's after, he leaves Hector be with the warning that I'm keeping my eye on you. I know you used to work for Dracula, so your time will come too.
Jeez.
But he lets Hector go when Hector helps stop Dracula from coming back fully, or at least defeating Dracula once more.
Yeah. Oh man.
So
I will say, because we're kind of I know pretty soon I got to get off, but dude, this season was actually a lot. It was a couple episodes longer.
mm-hmm.
So,
I think each season, unless they decide otherwise, is going to be about the same length, if not 2 to 4 episodes more each time.
Yeah, because last season or the first season was 4 episodes, which I'm gonna be perfectly honest, that was way too short. That was way too short for a season. I think they were just trying to get it all set up. Season 2 kind of makes up for that. It was
8 episodes.
Doubled. It was double the amount for season 1, and then for season 10 or season 3, we have 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Will be another Witcher 3 again? The Witcher episode?
Probably asking about the gameplay. Unless you started a commentary on the Netflix show.
Oh, in the playlist, the Witcher playlist, it has everything I've done with The Witcher. The first couple of videos are the Witcher show, as well as the beginning of the episodes for the gameplay.
Megan said game or Netflix, both. I mean, but real quick, aside from the,
I was gonna say both. The every like I said, everything for The Witcher is in one playlist, so that way I'm not kind of separating everything. All the episodes, at least for the most part, all the episodes for The Witcher reactions for the Witcher TV show is like near the beginning of the playlist.
Real quick, because I just now remembered, and I feel bad that I just now remembered. Sage wanted us to talk, even just briefly, about the toilet paper shortage going on in Australia.
I haven't even checked that out. So what's going on with that?
People have been panic buying supplies, and it's toilet paper is one of the major ones people have been buying a slew of, to the point that the shelves are empty, and paper printing companies are starting to print blank paper for people to try and resupply that, or at least replace that until they can resupply it. And this mass panic buy is due to the coronavirus outbreak and whatnot.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, or at least the fear of the outbreak being there. I don't remember which, because I looked into it.
So people are probably going to.
Since I looked at it.
So let me guess. People are barring themselves in their homes to keep themselves from getting sick. So they're getting all the supplies they need.
Yeah, someone even ended up buying too much, to the point that they ended up making a throne out of the rolls.
What the fuck?
To show that they ended up buying more than they had initially intended.
That's so screwed up. That's like what's his name? Chank from the Young Turks bitching and moaning about friggin' about how he was missing his flight.
I think that honestly, because I don't remember if they said so or not, but I think they felt bad about how much they bought.
Oh, the person that bought that made the throne out of toilet paper? Well, they should.
But yeah, it's
getting really bad.
Yeah. And honestly, like,
it's weird because in the States, some of the reports, they talk about how I feel, and I kind of feel like some of the media is kind of over exaggerating it.
I mean, that meme Magi posted in the server is rather poignant.
I think there was a couple things I saw where it's been advised that basically just do the normal thing when it comes to not getting sick. You know, not covering your hand. You don't use your hands when you cough or sneeze. Always wash your hands. Be diligent about, you know, what you touch, et cetera, et cetera. You know, just the basic stuff that, which I would assume that some of these people that are getting sick don't do the basic stuff to keep themselves from getting sick.
Yeah. This is like this meme, real quick.
Yeah.
The animation makes me think of like Pokemon and whatnot.
Yeah.
The vibrancy of it and all that. But it shows a woman doing the victory pose in front of it. And it has the coronavirus is incurable around the breast area. Under that it says, but it only has a 2% death rate. And below that says it only kills those with underlying health conditions. And then to the right is someone holding a camera looking over the coronavirus is incurable part, and the hand is tagged with is called the media. So
yeah,
that's rather poignant in my opinion.
Just goes to show how much the media sucks.
It can be. It's heavily biased, but
news media sucks.
Well, I mean, we do suck.
Well, I just mean news stations in general suck.
It's always best to do your research.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you hear or see on TV or in the news.
Exactly.
And I know it's very difficult to do so. It's tough. It's tough not to panic when it comes to being scared like this. Exactly. But we wouldn't be as scared if we knew all the details.
Yeah, which unfortunately a lot of people don't know those details. Actually, since we were talking about some stuff going on in the world, I think it was MJ. Yeah, it was MJ. She mentioned the whole thing with Shiloh, which I'm gonna say to everybody. I have been taking a break from drama, so I have no idea what the heck's been going on with the whole Onision crap. I just recently heard that apparently Chris Hansen's being charged for harassment, but at this point,
that's the coach was doing, from what it seems like.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this right now. I as cold-hearted as it is for me to say this, I don't care for the drama right now. I think we've said what we need to say. Onision's going to still continue to make bullshit content. At this point, I've said a lot that I wanted to say. Chris Hansen has been doing his part. Other people have been doing their part. And I'm going to be perfectly honest. At this point, I wanted to take a break because there's people who have, in a sense, have undermined everything that other people have been trying to do in this whole thing. And I wanted to take a step back. For this particular time, I'm washing my hands of it. I'm not looking into it. I'm just focusing on me and doing content that I find fun.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Honestly, I think that's something that a lot of people need to do. Being this so far into the drama that it starts to cause a strain mentally.
And I will say more likely.
And it's good to take a break from time to time so that you can recharge. And
I will say I've done this a couple of times, and I have a prediction that I may just end up sticking with this, where I'm just doing content that I enjoy to make. I don't like doing the content on Onision. I don't like making the drama content. The only reason I made it because I wanted to speak my mind. I know people are like, oh, you're just doing it for the money. No, I fucking don't. I don't care for the money. I make shit on YouTube. I have a good paying job. So does the rest of us. We probably make more on other stuff than we do on YouTube. We're set. I do this because I speak my mind, and at the moment with the content, I'm just doing something that I fucking enjoy.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Onision content, for the time being, I'm washing my hands of it. I'm taking a break. If there ends up being a follow-up to the investigation, I may say my piece, but other than that, I'm done for now.
Yeah. Only thing I have to add to that, it really is, please don't put all your eggs in one basket. In my opinion, Chris is just trying to aid the investigation by getting more evidence that can possibly is the key word there, be used.
Yeah. He's not the end game. That at the moment, the end game is the FBI or police that want to actually want to see if they have enough evidence to do an investigation or to do prosecution or whatever. At this point, it's a waiting game.
Yeah.
There's a saying that that I use at work sometimes is when it comes to a lot of the stuff that Greg does, he can hang himself with his own noose. All he's doing is feeding himself the rope. He's done a lot of heinous shit to people, and he's only putting himself in jeopardy for doing so.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree, even though I know nowhere near as much as you or some of the other members of the group.
But, all right.
Thank you. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you, Megan. So, I think I'm going to start ending it. So as I mentioned earlier, if you guys, for those who've been watching my Let's Plays, we're going to be starting to play, or we're going to start play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which I have been wanting to play for a while. And so far, it's actually been really fun. I will say that some of the videos are more of on the shorter side, like about maybe 15, 20 minutes to some 30 minutes max. But hopefully those are a lot of fun to watch. As well as I'm going to be finishing up or at least as the weeks go on, finish uploading the video reactions for Castlevania. And I may do Oh My Goddess, the 5-episode OVA next.
Oh, okay.
Which I love that OVA.
A lot of people say the show is better than the OVAs, but
Well, okay.
I've never watched any of it.
I bought the OVA. I have the 2-season series, which honestly it is actually really good. And I think I mentioned this in an earlier podcast. The person who plays Payorf for the second series played Belle Dandy in the OVA.
Yeah, I believe you mentioned that last week.
Yeah. And also, what's the guy that plays Piccolo?
And which dub?
English.
There are 2 dubs. There are 2 English dubs.
Oh gosh.
There's the Ocean dub, and then there's the more popular now Funimation dub.
Okay. Who's the guy that plays?
Funimation dub is Christabot.
Is that the same guy that plays All Might and oh my gosh, Major Armstrong from FMA?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he voices one of the characters for one of the big dumb guys for Oh My Goddess.
No.
He plays a character in that, which I thought was really funny.
Let me check. Double check on. Yep, it's Christabot that voiced All Might.
Yeah.
In the English dub for My Hero Academia. Honestly, Piccolo is one of the many roles he has done for DBZ. He's also voiced Vegeta. He was the voice of Zarbon. Just all kinds of different characters.
His voice for Zarbon in what was it? Freaking Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is so freaking hilarious.
I mean, I don't know if he still voices Zarbon. It could be a different VA.
For some reason, what would have been funny if they would have gotten the voice actors, the guys that did the abridged, to do the voice acting. Oh, that would have been hilarious.
Well, I mean, Takahata 101 did his Nappa voice for one of the voice choices in Xenoverse 1.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, they, regardless of some of the problems that they may have with the company or the creator from time to time because of DBZ Abridged, they still get work for it. They've opened a lot of doors by doing this. It's major props to them. They've done what a lot of people wish they could. And they've turned it into a business. So I wish them the best of luck in future endeavors.
Kind of curious on what they'll work on now.
Let's see. Hell, like, for those who have never watched DBZ, you may have known Chris Abbott from Fruits Basket. He did the English voice for the oh god, what was the name of that family? But he was the one that turns into a snake, the highly flamboyant one, and it's the exact same voice he does for Zarbon.
Naruto?
Huh? No.
I'm thinking of freaking Orochimaru. I haven't watched Fruit Basket.
It's okay. It's not for everyone. Let's see. What was his name?
Oh, actually, dude, another good series I might actually talk about. Elfen Lied.
Oh, that's a good one.
For those who have never watched it, watch it. That is such a good freaking show. Oh, man.
Ayame Soma. That was the character's name.
All right. I think I'm going to call it.
Okay.
All right. So I will say this was a good podcast. We talked for a lot of time. We talked about the Castlevania and we talked about some other stuff.
Yeah. We geeked out.
All right. So for those people who are probably going to watch this after it's been live, if you guys have anything you'd like to add to the conversation, leave a comment down below. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description. If you guys want to follow Aden, MJ, and Magi on some of their gaming stuff, follow them on Twitch and YouTube, as well as follow some of our other content. Special thanks for Aden for coming on tonight for us to talk about Castlevania.
Yeah.
And as well as to everybody who came on for the live show to be with us as we talked about Castlevania and kind of BS'd around. So with that being said, this is Rob and Aden signing off. Have a good one and take care. Peace.
See ya.